Okay, so I also want to talk to you about the fact that Pythagorean theorem is used a lot for story problems, a lot of the time. And the idea here is you might see a picture like this, or you might not see a picture and you're just reading the description of this ladder up against the building. But if you drew the picture, you would actually see that there is a right triangle being formed. So in this problem, we have a 10-meter ladder. The bottom of the ladder's 5 meters from the building, and maybe they're asking a question about how high up can it reach? Like, can it get to the person that's in this window, let's say? And so the legs would be the L shape of this triangle. So that's the 5 and the missing thing. Now they used an H there, but I'm just going to go ahead and use an X. And our hypotenuse has got to be the ladder. That's that diagonal from the L shape. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and square the 25, and I'm going to square the 100. And then it's either going to be an adding or a subtracting step. So this one, the x squared, is not by itself, so I need to do a subtraction step. So it's going to look like this. Oops, x squared. And then I'm going to take the square root of both sides. So I'm going to punch in the square root of 75, and rounding to the nearest tenth, I'm getting 8.7, and then this one would be meters, because if you see in the story problem, that's meters. So the fact that you could be using this Pythagorean theorem for a story problem. Let's do one more. All right, so here's a picture, and it's like a map, and it's being taken from above. And they're talking about perhaps how this boat, they're trying to figure out maybe how far away is this boat from the lighthouse. And then they might give you some dimensions. And in this example, you can see our legs are going to be the L shape. So the 50 and the 130 are going to be the legs. So I'm going to do 50 squared plus 130 squared. And my hypotenuse is that missing piece of information. All right, so the first thing we're going to go ahead and do, and again, you can use your calculator for this. We've got some big numbers on this one. 2,500 for that, and 16,900 for that one. All right, now the next step, it's either going to be an adding step or a subtracting step. If you look at this one, they're on the same side. So we're going to be going ahead and adding them together. All right, and then I'm going to take the square root of both sides, and that is rounding to 139.3, and then this would be kilometers. If you take a look at that story problem, this is in kilometers. So the Pythagorean theorem is frequently used for story problems. If you ever get a story problem and you look at the picture, or you try to draw a picture of it and it seems to be making a right triangle, you're probably dealing with the Pythagorean theorem.